Okay, guys, so we are live, right? So I just want to say welcome back to another Photoshop training session put on by the Commuters Publication Communication Committee here at the UA Mona campus in Kingston, Jamaica. My name is Bobby Smith, the UA Mona Community Students Publication Committee chairperson, and I will be your host for this afternoon session, right? So as you know, we'll be having a 1 week activity geared towards understanding how Photoshop works and how to start creating wonderful masterpiece. Session will run from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. daily, and we'll be having a one talented individual each day showing us the ropes in mastering the heights of Photoshop. I guarantee you, you won't regret it, honestly. So again, let me just say this before I get into the nice part of the introduction. We do apologize for all the person that haven't received any email thus far, right? Some of the email return with an error, as in it returned not found, and some of it returned saying the email has been, it's not receiving any more messages. So we do apologize for that. And these emails, are as follow. We have Pauline that Parnell, I think it's Parnell02 at ua.mona.edu. We have Solomon C19 at yahoo.com. We have Morris at uamona.edu.jm. We have Francis4 at gmail.com. We have Latanya Witter at gmail.com. And we have Samuel Collins at myua that mymona.ua.edu. That's samuel.cummins, mymona.ua.edu. And we have Nokoi, um, Nokoi.w at yahoo.com. That's NUCOLYE.w at YouTube, yahoo.com. Right. So again, um, we have been receiving a lot of images, a lot of person emailing us saying that hey, they have successfully installed Photoshop, right? And we send out the the Photoshop for Mac also. So the Mac version is actually 2018, and the one for Windows is actually 2020. So you guys have the latest version. Probably have the latest version over all the presenter, to be honest. So you will have a lot of features that we haven't received as yet until Adobe decide to update our version, right? So yeah, so instructions on how to download if you have the Windows. What you're going to do, you're going to click the link that was sent to you via email by us, by the Commuters Committee and Students Publication Committee. Right, you're going to see that email. You're going to click the link in that email. It will take you to a folder, right? When you see that folder, don't click into the folder. You right click and download the entire folder itself. When you download the folder, you run it in your extractor, any extractor. If you don't have an extractor, just Google WinRAR, as in that's like the best extractor, or just Google an extractor and download it right there, right? After you do that, you run the installation, but before the installation can run, a window will pop up saying that you need to sign up with Adobe Creative Cloud, right? So all you have to do, sign up with Adobe Creative Cloud. When Adobe Creative Cloud finish install, then it will give you the permission to run the Photoshop setup, right? So then you run it because Adobe Creative Cloud, what it does is that it won't permit another Adobe application to be installed while it is being installed, right? So you will have that kind of waiting period, right? And for the Mac, you just click the link, download the file. It's kind of the same process for the Mac. Click the link, download the file. As in, we send you a WeTransfer, the file by WeTransfer, right? So you just click the link, download the file. When you download the file, then you just attach the the ZII file into the Adobe folder. You will copy and paste it over the the ZII file that comes with it, and you will be and you just, if it gives you the permission to download Adobe Cloud, to install Adobe Cloud, then you just install it, and then after you can successfully run your Photoshop, right? So if you are not already, I do encourage you to follow our social media handles of our partner. That's Yui Mona and Instagram. All of them, they're on Instagram, right? So Yui Mona, no, Yui Commuters, that's you, and Yui Commuters underscore PCC, Yui Mona underscore CSO, Yui Mona Guild, Yui WJST Guild, One Guild STA, Kville Guild, Open Campus Guild, Five Islands Guild, Elton Daily, and in photos, right? So be sure you guys follow all of our social media handles, right? So if you have any questions, right, regarding installation, regarding how to download anything to get it into Photoshop, right? The PRO, they are here, they are in the chat, so they will gladly assist you where that is concerned, right? So just ask, and if you want like my private email so you can contact me and we work something out, then you can just message me privately and then I will respond to that, right? All right, so let's get into the juicy part of the matter that you know, everyone comes for. All right, so our presenter for today's session is none other than Alson Daly. Drum roll. The UE Mona Massive, please light up the chat room. If you're from UE Mona, just drop a one. Show your support for the man himself. We're not talking about Alkali. All right, so Alton Dale is a digital content creator for the 2017-2018 academic year. He served as the Faculty of Science and Technology Publication Committee Chairperson. In 2018-2019 academic year, he serves as Chancellor All Black B Publication Committee Chairperson and was also the deputy for Chancellor All in the same year. Right? In 2019-2020 academic year, he served as the Huey Mona Gill Publication Officer. I mean, this guy is wonderful. He's my mentor. I was an exec on his team. He's passionate. Alton will take his time out to ensure you get. Alton is everything. Trust me, guys, everything, right? That a friend could really ask for, right? So please help me welcome Alton Daly to this virtual stage. But guys, just put a lot of one in the chat. Welcome, Alton Daly. Alton, you're on. The floor is yours. Do your thing. Make us happy.
Thanks for that, Bobby. You guys hear me? Just indicate in the chat room if you guys hearing me. All right, so it's a pleasure to be here. As Bobby said, it's a Photoshop training session for this week, and I am your presenter for today. So my name is Elton Daley, and as Bobby Smith highlighted before, I was the PCC for the Faculty of Science and Technology in the 2017-18 academic year, the PCC for Chancellor Hall, well, Deputy for Chancellor Hall, and the official PCC for Block B, that's Black Currency on Chancellor Hall in the same year, and the Mona Guild PCC last year, that's 2019-20. And today, I'll be teaching you guys how to, well, the concept of photo manipulation in Photoshop. So that's like, combining different images together to get some really cool results. Have you guys ever did anything like this before? Yeah. No. Uh, oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, today should be fun and exciting. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see what's happening. Give me a second. All right. All right, so you guys seeing the screen? Uh, hold on, give me one sec. All right. So yeah, we're here in Photoshop now. What I'm gonna teach you today is to create well, we're gonna do two creations, both from the Marvel Enterprise. So the first one we're going on is this Iron Man one. So as you can see, it looks really complex at first, like really, really complex, but trust me, it's made up of really simple bits and pieces just put together to, achieve the desired goal at the end. So I'm just gonna take you through the step-by-step process of how to do this. And if you guys have any questions, you can stop me wherever and feel free to ask anything pertaining to what I'm doing. So before I start, any questions?
Excuse me, I was wondering which folder is that one in? Because I'm looking in the Iron Man photo, one on the image assets, but I'm not seeing that specific photo.
The final export isn't in that one. I wanted like a session where you guys would create with me, so that you could end up
Oh,
with this.
okay, guys.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys could end up with this image at the end. So
I can just
if
open
you,
a blank image right now, then a blank sheet.
okay, yeah. All right. So the first thing, going to file new, and just open recommended 1920 by 1080 artboard. So you can find that in the web, under the web tab, and it will be the first one right here. So wait, hold on, no, it's the second one. Sorry, yeah,
Uh, 1920 by
by 10.
1000. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So if any of you guys also that's following along have Photoshop and the downloaded files for this session, you can follow along also. But if not, you can just look and see what's happening. So yeah, as I said before, this image looks really complex at first. I mean, it's from Marvel though, so I wanted to bring something cool and interesting to the session today. So as you all know, it's Iron Man in the the they call it the HUD effect. That's when he's talking to Jarvis and all that. So I'm just going to show you the step-by-step process of how it's created. So going back into the folder. So I'm going to switch to the blank layer. All right. So um, going back into the folder, I'm just going to drag the images, well, the starting image to the canvas. So this is where it all starts. As I said before, whoever has Photoshop, you can just follow along, and you can stop me if needs be, if you want to ask a question or make a comment or anything like that. So, all right, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so while we wait on Elton, we can vibe, right? We can vibe. We can have a vibe. We can have a little line, between all the campuses, and we talk, right? So yes, this session is about to be epic. You see the basically the complexity of that design. Oh, you guys will be able to create that and even more, way more manipulation. All right, Elton, you're back.
All right. Yeah, I just got back. Sorry about that. So, I'm gonna share my screen again. Hold on. All right. So yeah, we're here in Photoshop now, creating this. Everybody seeing the screen? All right, cool. All right. So, so the first thing you wanna do, as I did, So the first thing you want to do, as I did, is to drag the hello. Okay. Yeah. So first we drag the Iron Man base image into. Yeah. Someone saying something? No. Okay. All right. So you want to drag the base image into Photoshop itself, so that it can be pasted on the artboard. And recommended size for this artboard, the HD one, which is 1920 by 1080 pixels. So just to run over everything, again, we're aiming to create this image in the end, this image. Okay, so it all starts from here. So once you have this photo already in Photoshop, what you want to do now is press Control T. That's the shortcut for the transform tool, so we can scale up the image. Because as you can see in the final result, the center of the image, it's his face, and then he's surrounded by all this thick swirling stuff. So for now, we'll just focus on getting his face up to par with the intended result. All right, so once you have the photo there, just press Control T on the keyboard um, to activate the transform select tool, and you can just click on any one of the sides, any one of the corners, sorry, press Alt to scale it up from the middle, because if you don't press it, it can just scale up from one aspect, but if you press with the Alt button, it scales up from the middle.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
How much is this resolution?
Can you please repeat that?
Resolution.
The 300.
300.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. So you want to scale it up to a sizable size. Can just scale this a bit more, just so that his face covers like the majority of the center of the artboard. Oh, also, if you want to zoom out, just like what I did, you can press Control and minus, and that's Command and minus for persons who have a Mac. For the Windows, it would be Control minus, so you can zoom out while scaling. All right, so we have this image of his face right here in the center of the artboard. All right, so the next step from here now, as we can see in the final result, like none of his suits is showing at all. So I'm not sure if you guys ever heard about this technique called masking or anything like that. Has that been mentioned to you guys before during the course of this week so far? Uh, oh no? Okay, all right. So masking is just a technique we use to. Oh, okay, so I'm just seeing the messages in the chat room. Okay. All right, so people are indicating that they have been seeing masking so far. So just a quick rundown. Masking is just a way how we can edit an image non-destructively. That just means that if I want to erase something on the image, I can easily get it back. And how we do that now is by pressing this icon here while having the layer selected. Just press the icon, this icon that my mouse is currently on, and it will add the layer mask. So now what we want to do is to shave off his zoom.
Excuse.
Yeah.
You said to zoom in on the face alone, you just press Alt and you bring it forward. You press one of the corners and bring it forward.
Yeah. Well, so hold on. Let me just go back from the start. So You're talking about the enlarging his face.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what you want to do first, you press
Mm-hmm.
Control and T
Mm-hmm.
to activate the transform tools, and
Right.
then after that you can go on any of the corners, any of the four corners, and while holding Alt, you click and drag to allow the image to scale up from the middle.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
you got that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so once you guys have that, hold on, let me just enlarge this a little bit more. All right, so once you guys have that down, then it's time for the next stage. So let me just delete this. So as I did before, all you have to do after that is add the layer mask. Now what we're gonna do is to shave off all the unnecessary parts of the image that relates to the final image. So on the sides, everything on the sides here will be shaved off. So for now, with this technique, we'll use this tool called the brush tool. The brush tool can be found here, right here in the tools bar of your tool panel. So all you can do is just select that. What it will allow you to do, it will allow you to erase the unnecessary parts. But in order to do this, just make sure that the color palette, right here on the color palette, the foreground is set to black. The foreground color is set to black. A quick way to do this, if it's any other color, for example, if it's like here, gray, you can just press D on your keyboard and it will defaultly set it to black and white. And if it's like this where the white is before the black, just press X and it will switch both of them. So you want to make it black because black is the color that's painted to erase the images, the portion of the images that we wouldn't need. So as you can see, I'm currently painting with the black brush to erase the parts that I don't need. I mean, I know that this looks kind of tacky at first, but you do this long enough, you'll know that at the end of the day, it's the final result that matters. So this is just all a part of the process. And also, if you guys have a mouse working with, that will help a lot, trust me, a lot in not only photo manipulation, but graphic design itself. Okay, Patrick is saying that he's seen a checkered background. Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. I'm gonna tell you how to fix that in just a bit, but that's normal. All right, so we're currently here right now. So what I did, I just erased the two sides, the unnecessary sides, and just having his face dead center within the center of the canvas. Now, as Patrick pointed out, the checkered background, what we're gonna do, we're gonna add a black background behind his face. How we're gonna do that is to select this option right here. We're gonna select this option right here and click on solid color. So if you guys work in Photoshop again, you can just follow with me and you guys will, basically end up with the same result. So yeah, so click here, and then click on solid color. What you can do now is to use the color picker. That's the little circle thing that you're seeing moving about. Just click on the black section. And that's how we get the black background. And then we can just drag the layer right below the image itself to let it appear as the background layer. Let me know if you guys had any problems with this phase, or I can continue. Everyone good?
Wait, for mine, it has a white background, even though I moved it down.
Oh, I think I know what's the problem. Right?
Alton, Leon Dawson here from Open Campus. When you're finished with that explanation, can you go over how you get the black background once again, please?
All right, no problem. All right, so first, I'm not sure who said it, but the girl that said that you're seeing a white background. I think.
Yeah.
All right. Um, so it's like my screen right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you want to do now is just to click and hold the the black background and just lift it up a little until you see this blue line running across the screen just below the Iron Man face, and then just let it go right there.
All right, great.
All right, no problem. Leon, you said, oh, could you please repeat your question?
How did you get the black background?
Okay. Oh, the black background. All right. So there are a set of options right below the layers panel. We clicked on the solid color option. So what it does is just it creates a layer of color. We just chose black because we're using black for the background. So what we did is click on this icon right here, right beside the mask tool, and click on solid color, and then we just use the color picker and choose the black shade. I mean, enough down here can work as black. If you wanted to use the hexadecimal code that's right here, um, the code for it would be 000000. That's like the blackest black, if that's such a thing. All right, so everyone's on the same page. All right. All right, so what we're gonna do next now is to bring in the other images, um, so that we can get the next layers filled up. All right, so what we want to do now is bring in image one. Bring in image one onto the canvas. So you can just click and drag, and it will be released on the canvas. And you can scale up the image again using the same technique where you hold Alt to, increase from the center out the corners of the image to allow it to expand. So I just expanded mine.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Where can I find the images that you are dragging?
Oh, did you get a link to it for it in your email? Yeah, I think Bobby and his team sent out links to you guys' email with the files. So that's how it is, right, Bobby?
Oh yes, Alton. I sent it to everyone that applied, that registered. You should have the access, the access to the link in the email. I think when you click it, it will bring you to WeTransfer. So all you have to do, go on WeTransfer and just download it. And also you can find it in the chat room, in the Zoom chat room. So just go in the Zoom chat room, go up, and you will see the link. Just click it and it will redirect you to WeTransfer. Just download the file, and you're good.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Um, so yeah, I hope you get access to those files soon. But continuing though, all right. So we're here now. We have so far we have the background layer, we have the Iron Man photo itself, and we can toggle between which photos are visible or not. by just clicking on the eye tool right here, the eye option, sorry, right here. So I think in the layers session held previously in the week, you guys would learn that the layers would be stacked on each other, so whichever one is above the other would appear above the one below. So that's why it's appearing black right here. All right, so now what we want to do is to get rid of the black background on this layer right here, the number one layer that we just dragged in, because at the end of the day, this is the little text stuff that we just dragged in. I want it to look like this so that we can see the face also. So how we'll do that is to apply this thing called a blending mode onto this layer. Now we can find the blending modes right here in this section where you see normal. By default, all images dragged into Photoshop are laced with the normal blending layer, but we can change them by just clicking on the one that we want from this list. For now, we'll use screen because the screen blending mode allows us to eliminate the black background from the images. So you can just click on here and then click the screen option. All right. And now we have one down. All right, so the next stage from here now is to carry in the other images. So now I'm bringing in number two and doing the same thing. So after I place the image on the artboard, I go to the blending modes and click screen. And that's how I get rid of the black background. What I want to do with this one that I just dragged in, that's image number two, I want to scale it up so much so that the edges of it align with the edges of the artboard. So I'm just going to scale this. It can be exact or it can be bigger, just as so that you can fill up this area on the left side of the screen. Another thing to point out, move layer one above layer two so that the things right here are more visible, because we basically just imported some color within the artboard and want the text stuff to show above the color. So we start the number one layer above the number two layer to get that result. All right, everyone with me? If you guys have any questions or anything, you can just indicate in the chat room, or you can just speak on your mics. All right. All right, so the next thing now is to drag in number three, and do the same thing. Apply the same blending mode, screen. But here now we want to put it over to the right side of the image. I'm going to scale it up a bit. Put it over the right side. So, as you can see, we started off from here, and we're adding bit by bit, climbing up the ranks so that we can eventually reach here. All right, so after dragging in number three, we can do the same thing for number four. A way to identify which parts go where, all of the orange shaded images are placed over on the left side, and all the blue shaded are on the right side. So applying the screen blending mode to here, to this one, and then just enlarging it just a bit and placing it in the top right corner. All right, cool. All right, number five. place this one in the bottom right corner. Here. Hold on, for this one, I want you guys to flip the image. So with the layer being selected on number 5, press Ctrl T and then left click, and you get this list of options. So what you want to go down to is flip vertical down at the last option, very last option. Flip vertical, and you get it, flipped vertically. And then we can align this with the bottom right corner of the screen. All right, so we're making progress bit by bit. Number 7. All right, so for number 7, I'm gonna make this layer invisible for now, because this one's gonna come in later on. I'll drag in number 8 first. All right, so this little Patrick, all right, what's the problem you're having where you see you're not getting through? Yeah, Patrick, are you hearing me?
I think the layers went all over the place, because I'm gonna try to drag them back in from one and try.
Wait, hold on. Could you repeat what you just said?
I think that it reached, like, when it reached like the ones on the right hand side, I was just seeing black.
Oh, okay. You tried applying the screen blending mode to it?
You have to apply the screen blending mode to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apart
I'll undo
from-
it back. Undo it back to the face.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
okay, go ahead.
add them back in, and then I'll let you know. Cool?
Okay, all right. Yeah, no problem. All right. So, yeah, guys, apart from the background layer itself and the Iron Man image, you can apply the screen blending mode to all the other layers that we're dragging in, so that we can eliminate the black background. All right, so we're here with number 8, image number 8. So we're gonna do the same effect, screen blending mode. What we're gonna do is place it right in the center of his eye and within his iris and pupil. I'm gonna scale it up a bit.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I have a question. So I'm trying to put on one of the layers, but it's saying that the smart object must be rasterized. So should I touch OK or put cancel?
No, you can press OK.
Okay.
All right. It's working now?
Well, let me see first.
All right.
Let me see. I don't even have him found. Okay.
All right, just let me know. Just let me know if it's working or if it's not working.
It's like a circle come up. Is that normal? Because it's not allowing me to stretch the image anymore.
All right. Tell you what you do. Delete that layer. Delete that layer and try to drag it in again.
All right. That maybe a bit, sir. Yeah, maybe a bit.
It's working?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Yeah, man, no problem. All right, so we're here at number 8. So we placed it right in his within the pupil and iris of his left, well, his right eye, on based on the artboard's perspective on the left side. Image 4, a key image 4 is to be placed on the top right left-hand corner. Sorry. So over here, this is image 4, right? I'm just selected. So this is image 4 right here. You can place it right here. No problem. All right, so we're back here now. After placing number 8 within his eye, the number 7 that we dragged in, when I apply the same screen blending mode to it, but we're gonna place it now right over his iris, well, his eye, because we're gonna enlarge it. So the image 3 in yours is too bright. The image 3 is, that's the blue one for you. That's Padre, if my pronunciation is correct.
Orange color?
Yes, you said image 3 for yours is too bright.
Yeah.
That's the blue one.
The orange.
The orange. The color.
Yeah, it's you know, the image of the, it's kind of, yeah.
This, hold on, this one.
Yes.
Okay, all right. What you can do to lessen the intensity of the brightness, you can go up to the image layer, right here, the image option, sorry, right here.
Yes.
And then click on adjustments, and you'll see this brightness / contrast. From here, you can edit the brightness. So you can either, and this is for anyone in general, if you want to make it brighter or darker, you can just toggle with this slider right here.
Sure.
All right, no problem. All right, so back on track now. All right, I accidentally deleted my number 7 layer, so I'm just gonna drag it back in. All right, so once again, make sure your number 7 layer is above the number 8 layer, so that it, appears above the little fire in his eye. You can drag it to a pretty much decent size compared to the face of his image, so that it doesn't really is too small or overcrowded too much. Yes, I big up yourself too. All right, so after doing that, we want to drag in the number 9 image now. So this is like a little blue fire to the orange one that we just placed over his left eye. We're gonna apply the same blending mode screen, and we want to place it right over his right eye. Can enlarge it just a bit. So these are like glares when he's like looking in the screen of his suit. All the reflections will be reflected naturally from off his iris. So that's the purpose for those. And then the last one, number 10. So this is like the edges of the screen that he's seeing within his suit. So what I want to do is to drag it all the way so that it fills up the entire artboard. And then we apply the screen blending mode to it. All right. Let me know if you're all here or having problems to get to this stage. All right, everyone good? All right, cool. Hey, Candice, you're still at 8. So that's the orange fire in his eye. All right, so Candice, you remember the steps from 8 with 9 and 10?
Well, yeah, I think I managed. So just put it on screen mode, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But for number 9, where is it go? On the blue side, right?
Number 9, yeah, number 9 is on the blue side.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem, Patrick. All right, cool. So, as we can see now, we worked ourselves up a lot from the starting image to where we are right now. So, our intended goal is this image, this final result here. So, what we want to do now is to compare what we have created so far with our expected goal. So, as you can see, his face is a bit larger in this one, so I'm just going to enlarge his face in this one a bit. I do that by clicking on the Iron Man layer itself first, then pressing the Control T shortcut to access the transform tools, and then the usual expansion of this from the center. All right, so that looks about good. But what will happen though is that I'll probably have to rearrange some of the stuff so that they're aligned correctly with his face. So, for example, number 8. Number 8. Number 9 also. And number 7. All right. All right, so we're right here now. So what we want to do from this stage, we basically have everything on the artboard that we need. What we want to do now is to work our way up with adding a couple of the edits and retouches. Jude, I said the feature you turned on messing with the layers. That's the screen feature. Oh, the auto select. All right. So with the move tool selected, that's this one. We can find the auto select feature right here. So you can just toggle with this option to turn on or off the auto select. No problem. And Samantha, all right, I'll repeat the brightness for the red fire. So let me just select the red fire alone. If it's this one or any of the layers, so with that layer selected, you click on the image option and then adjustments, then brightness. And then we can toggle with the slider to adjust the brightness of whichever layer we're working with. All right, cool. All right, cool. Candice, all right, for the brightness, let me just repeat once more. So we click on the layer and then, so make sure the layer that you want to be brightened is selected. Then you click on the image option, then adjustments, then brightness. And then you can toggle with the slider to increase or decrease the intensity of the brightness. All right, so all right, cool. All right, so everyone's on the same page. Any more questions? Or everyone's good? All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do from here now, as I said before, we basically have everything that we need to complete the final image on the on the artboard itself. So what we're gonna do is to play around with a couple of the layers to edit them to give them, that really. Yeah. Someone has a question? All right, cool. So yeah, as I was saying, we're gonna play around with some of the images to brighten them a little bit so that it can, give that popish look like this one. So what I'm gonna do first though is to enlarge this layer, my number 3 layer, so that it kind of fills up over here. The next thing I'm gonna do is to sort of brush away a bit of his ear, the side of his face, so that it can appear more seamless. A tip for when using the brush tool, so you can control a lot of the brushes options with the opacity. Like for each tool, you have this options bar that whenever the tool is selected, it has a lot of options at the top. So what I did, I turned down the opacity and increase the size of my brush. If you're using a mouse, you can also adjust the hardness of the brush. That helps a lot with when trying to delete unnecessary stuff, but not making it too harsh. For example, if right now my hardness is set to 100, and if I try to paint, you can like legit see the difference. But if I decrease the hardness in the brush, right now the hardness is at 0, and I paint on the side, it appears more smoothly than before. Yeah, we can zoom in to make more precise shades, but the reason I'm not doing most of the zooming right now is just because of the time limit that I have to work with. But yeah, we can zoom in and actually more precise shading. I mean, if you want to get more precise, you can definitely do that as you go along. All right, so this seems fine now. The next thing I want to do is to apply a bit of color to each of his face. So just imagine you being in his suit and looking on all of those lights. By natural nature, the light from the screens will reflect on your skin. So we want to, bring out that concept within the image itself. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint some orange and blue filters on his face. So how we're gonna do that is firstly, create a new layer by clicking this the new layer button down on the layers panel right here. So create a new layer. Just enter that the new layer you created is above the Iron Man's face layer. Big up yourselves too. All right, so after creating the new layer now, we reselect the brush tool. And once that is selected, hold on. Wait, give me a second. I just change my opacity of my brush. Cool. All right, so reselect the brush tool. Once that is selected, I want to pick a color that's suitable to apply on this side of his face. So I'm gonna go with orange. What you can do to do that now, click on the foreground color, and then just toggle with this slider until you reach the orange section, and just click within the orange palette. But to get a more precise way of finding the color that would be more suitable to his face, you can actually pick up the color from here, right here, by pressing Alt while the brush tool is selected. So hold on. Hold on. Is it possible to take a piece of the orange fire image and use it on the brush instead of selecting a color? It is possible, yes, but I wouldn't get into that one for this session. But it is possible. And Akeem, which section would you want me to go over? The one with the brush or the color? Okay, the color. All right, so how we select the color now? We click on the foreground palette right here, this one. Let's click on it with your mouse, and then we can adjust this slider to find the color we're looking for. So we can just slide it all the way down to the oranges and just pick somewhere in the oranges, to get a general orange color. But if you want to be more precise with it, there's actually a way how to do that. So with the brush tool selected, you can press Alt on your keyboard to activate this thing called the eyedropper tool. And what the eyedropper tool does, it just picks up whichever color that it's currently on when you click that section. So right here, if I'm right here and I click, I instantly get this color right in my color palette. So I want you guys all to do that. And then on the layer that you've created, you can just paint with your brush tool. And don't worry about how it looks right now, because it will eventually get better. So you can just paint on like half of his face. And then once you've done that, I heard Bobby mention that you guys learned about the clipping tool within a previous class. It's the same, a clipping mask, sorry. So it's the same effect we're gonna apply. Make sure the layer is right above the Iron Man's face layer, and just apply the clipping mask to it so that it clips on just to the face of Iron Man. So as you can see though, his face is like colored, like literally colored in orange. So what we want to do is to apply a blending mode to the orange layer itself so that we can see the undertones of his skin and all the details from his face. There's this clipping mask tool. All right, so Akeem, on the layer, within the layers panel, let me just unclip this and show you. Yeah, within the layers panel, you right click, make sure you have the one that you just painted selected. You right click and then click on the create clipping mask option. And then that's how you get it to be clipped to here. All right. Everybody good so far?
Excuse me, I had a question. In terms of removing some of the orange, like I thought you shaped the orange around his face. How did you do that?
Oh, all right. So I just used a brush. I used the brush tool and created. I just painted on the layer on the left side of his face with the brush tool. So with the brush tool selected, I just literally just did this over and over until like half of his face was covered in orange. And then what I did after that now was to clip it to his face so that it only applied to his face.
Oh, so how you clip it? That's the point I kind of lost.
Okay, the clipping part now.
Mm-hmm.
So after you painted it, all I want you to do is go on the layer, right click, and then you want to right click and then select create clipping mask.
All right, thank you.
No problem. All right, so once it's clipped on his face now, the next objective is to get the details of his face to be shown, because as you can see, we just seen a color on the left side of his face. So how we do that now is to apply another blending mode, not screen this time, but this one called overlay. All right. So this, it just allows it to let the lower layer, portray all the details that were initially there, with the upper layer now having some sort of effect on it. So we're adding a color effect. So that's why it appears orange. We're gonna do the same thing for the next side, but with blue, because of the blue highlights on the right side of the artboard. So what I want you guys to do, again, create the next layer, and then with the brush tool selected, we can just select, I guess right here would be good for the blue shade, and then we can just paint on the side of the space. And then, once like half of his face is covered, I do the same process again, right click, then press create clipping mask, and it clips it onto his face. And then we change the blending mode of it from normal to overlay. All right, everybody following? All right, cool. All right, so the problem with this now is that the colors applied on his face are too much in intensity. Yeah, do the overlay. Oh, DJ, no, do the overlay blending mode for both. All right, cool. So the problem right now is that too much of his face is being drowned in the colors. So how we solve this problem now is to decrease the opacity on each of the colors that we just added a while ago. So with, firstly, let's do the orange one first. With the orange layer selected, we go here to opacity and just decrease this to about 50%. So now we get a little lighter touch to his skin tones rather than something harsh. And we do the same thing for the blue side. Drop it to about 50% and that should be good. So as you can see, without the colors, it looks like this. And then with the colors applied now, it looks more and more realistic, as if like he was actually right there behind the screen. We could do a bit of editing on this because like right here, for me at least, there's a little sharp line of orange. Just clear that real quick. I'm just using the brush tool and just smoothing it out a little bit. And then I'll do the same thing for the blue one. And how I do this also is the same concept from before, where I applied the mask tool and I'm able to edit non-destructively. All right, so we're here right now. The next thing I want to do is to actually improve the vibrance, meaning the richness of the colors of the things on the screen. Renata, what you want me to do one more time? The part with the colors where I attached it to his face, or yeah, the last thing that you did after this is the opacity of the blue color. Okay, so what I did, let me just show you so that you guys can see clearly. So as you can see, like here and here of the edges of the blue and orange sections are a bit sharp, meaning that like if light hits your face, it will tend to span over a section rather than just being on one specific spot. So I just wanted to get it smoother so that it looks more realistic. So how I did that, after changing the opacity now, both to 50, 50. All right, let me just delete the layer masks and redo it. So for each of the colors, I applied the layer mask and then ensure that I had the brush tool selected because that's how I can edit non-destructively the colors on his face. So all I did was painted. You can take into consideration the size of your brush tool because if it's too big, then you'll paint over too much, or if it's too small, then you paint too little. So, just let it be a decent size or relative to his face and just paint over. If you have sharp edges, that is on the color part aspect of his face. So that's what I did for the blue and the orange section. What I selected for the, all right, Patrick, for the layer mask, it's right here at the bottom of the layers panel beside FX. So it's that rectangle with the little circle inside of it. All right, cool. So everybody's with me?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
The layer mask. When I press the layer mask down option, so it will it make another layer. It make another layer, not connect to the like orange or blue.
Oh, so just like this, it just makes another layer that's just sitting there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So for that one, you can like just delete that one by either pressing the delete key on your keyboard, or you can drag that layer down to the rubbish bin icon right down in the bottom of your layers panel. Because I don't think we'll be needing any more layers. So yeah, once you do either of those processes, it should disappear. All right. So comparing this now with the final expected image, we're getting somewhere there, closer and closer. As you can see though, it's not the exact image, but it's close enough. And that's a thing with art itself. Most times when we're recreating stuff, it's not necessarily the same thing, but once we get it close enough, then it's good. All right, so the next thing that we want to do now is to increase the intensity of the colors around him because as you can see in this image, the orange and the blue around his face are a lot richer, and even on his face too are a lot richer than what we have here in the one that, well, the ones that that's portraying on the screen right now. So how I'm going to do that is on the orange layer 2, image 2, that we dragged in with just the orange color. With that layer selected, we want to go up in image, adjustments, then hue and saturation. Now we can increase the intensity of the orange by toggling with the saturation slider. So that's the red one, the one that moves from white to red. We increase the redness of it, then we will increase the saturation of that color on the image. So we can just increase it to about 20. 20 should be good. And we can do the same thing for the blue layer over here. I think that's number 4. No, that's layer number 3. So the same process, image, adjustments, hue and saturation. And then we just increase the intensity of the blue. So the blues get bluer. About 35 is good. All right, so for those, just did. And we can do the same thing too on his face, the colors on his face. So the one that we clipped to his face, same process, image, adjustments, hue, saturation, increase it just a tad bit, because we don't want to, burn his face in too much color. Otis, yeah, I think all the sessions are recorded and then uploaded on the Commuters PCC YouTube page, so you could like rewatch a recording at your own free time after this session.
Wait, sorry, Elton. You meant to say the UA Community and Students Office YouTube page.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Bobby. Antonio, I guess Bobby would send you the link after, but after the session is finished, so you guys can have access to it. Oh, Chinese just sent it there. All right, cool. All right, so back to the image now. So we just changed the. Hold on, just check the chat. So we just changed the hue and intensity of the orange section on his face. Now we want to do the same thing to the blue section of his face. So image, once that the blue layer is selected, then click on image, and adjustments, and hue and saturation, and moving the slider to the right, it increases the intensity. So I can put it to about 30, and that should be fine. All right, we can do the same thing now, because we can do the same thing to the image number 10, because it's kind of being overshadowed by everything else. But I'm not sure if if it's happening in your artwork too, but for me, like, these parts started being overshadowed by the orange. So I'm gonna increase the intensity of that also. All right, so with this, we're like 90% complete so far. Everybody's on the same page. Everyone is getting through all right, or you guys having problems?
I see we had a little question.
Yeah.
Regarding like the colors that we added on, right? I added mine on, it's okay, but I noticed that in your layers panel, beside the colors, you have like this white and black theme. So I was wondering if I had to have that, yeah, like this one.
This, okay. Yeah, these are just the layer masks. No, you don't necessarily have to have it. I just put mine, yeah, I just put mine there because the colors on his face were a bit too sharp. It's like adding a rectangle of color, like a rectangular color to his face. Let me just visually represent that. So for me, it was like this. It was like I did this.
Oh.
And what I wanted to do was to smooth out this sharp section so that it could fade into his skin. I mean, after applying all of the overlays and whatnot, then I did that part. So that's the little white section for me. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on yours. It's just if you need to.
Okay, so you could like apply mask to that mask to clip it down a bit?
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So the next thing, the last thing that we can do is just to name the layers, and then that's basically it for this one. because I think that I love to do is to name my layers so that it's easily identifiable. So I'll name this one background layer. This one, Iron Man's face. This could be orange overlay. This one now with blue overlay. Could name this one Orange Fission. Number one. So tech gear. Screen gear. Here. I'll just copy this. A key thing to note, you could name your layers however it suits you, how best it suits you, so that you could like easily identify it if you ever need to go back to a project like this, or if you're sending it to someone, you know, stuff like that. This. Auto. Right. All right, so once we have all this done now, we could just group everything into one big folder. So how we do that now is to select from the topmost layer to the bottommost layer while holding shift and clicking. So with this one selected, let's go to the bottommost layer, and with shift, holding down shift on your keyboard, just click and it will select all the layers in between, and then press Ctrl G on your keyboard. That's Command G for those with a Mac, and then it will group everything into one folder. And we can just name this Iron Man photo manipulation. All right, and then that would be the photo manipulation for Iron Man. You guys are finished, or you still working on it? Everyone at this stage? All right. Oh, okay, still working. All right, cool. You guys are really doing very good, you know, because this is like one of those really complex photo manipulations when you look on it at first, but as you can see throughout the whole process, it's just a combination of layers upon layers upon layers. So repeat the grouping. Okay, so for the grouping, um, just take everything out. So what you want to do is to select the topmost layer, so the topmost layer, then hold on the shift key on your keyboard, and then select the bottommost layer. And then that will select all the layers in between. And then after that, if you're using a Mac, you press Command G. If it's a Windows, you press Control G for the grouping. And it should be grouped like that. So, all right, everyone got that? Candice, you guys still having trouble with the grouping?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let me just go over this. All right, so the first thing, ensure that you have the topmost layer selected first. You know, so you just click on it to highlight the topmost layer. Then while holding on Shift on your keyboard, so you can just press on the Shift key now. Then move to the bottommost layer. Then click on the bottommost layer, and then that should select all the layers. That should select all the layers that you've previously worked on. That happened. All right. So while those layers are selected, you want to press Control G on your keyboard if you're using a Windows, or Command G if you're using a Mac. And
All right, cool.
All right, cool. All right. So the next step from this is just to export the image. So, well, we save first and then export the image. So how to save the document, the Photoshop document itself, we can just go to File, Save As button comes up, and then you can name the Photoshop document Iron Man photo manipulation. And just click OK. And that should be good with saving it. Everyone got that part? Everyone's good with saving the document?
Okay.
All right, good. All right, cool. And then the next thing now, we can export it as as an actual image. So how we do that now? We click on File, and then click on Export. We'll go Export As. And then this window will pop up. So we can export it as JPEG as it states over here. We don't really have to mess with any of these values on this side. We just want to ensure that it's JPEG at the top, because all of these we set already when we created our artboard. So these are good, these are fine. So once this is JPEG, JPG, sorry. We can click on the export button right here, and then it will export it to the folder of your choice. So you can just have it right beside um, the PSD file. That's the Photoshop file. Yeah, and then that's your photo manipulation image. I planned the next one for this session, but I don't think I'd have enough time to do it at all. It's another Marvel character, Black Panther. If you look in the documents through the email that was sent, there's another folder, the Black Panther photo manipulation. I'm just gonna bring up the final design to show you all what it looked like that I created. So this was basically commemorating the death of, Chadwick in his Black Panther form. So I created a photo manipulation of that, But I mean, it could be a task for you guys if you could somehow try and recreate this with all that you've learned so far. It doesn't have to really look exactly like this, but something. Oh, Bobby said, doing all right until 3:30. All right, cool. Um, all right, I'm not sure if you can get cloud storage. That's like, Shania, that you're referring to like personal cloud storage or from the session itself? And vector images, yeah, you can get a number of vector images. I'm gonna type in a few websites where you can get some. I'm gonna type it within the chat room. So those are 3 sites where you can get vector images from. I mean, there's a lot more though, but you could just do some research on Google and oh, it was prevalent. Hold on. All right, so I just listed 3 of the websites that I usually use to get vector images. There are a couple more on, well, there are a lot more on Google, but these are the ones that I mainly use currently. All right. All right, so we can get into the Black Panther one now. Give me a second. Everyone having fun so far? Yeah, everyone enjoying themselves, creating, and all these things. So much fun. What I like to do, like I like to create these cool stuff. Like, for example, these Marvel characters, because if you watch those Marvel movies, you'll realize that a lot of work goes into their artworks, generating their artworks and stuff. So a lot of cool images are out there that you can look off and then try to recreate on your own. There's no downfall in like doing a step-by-step replica of something that someone else has created, because that's how we learn and how we grow. But over time you'll get to add your unique touch to it bit by bit. All right, so give me a second. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so I'll also prepare, we can vibe. All right, so Patrick, the resolution, you can use the same 300 ppi resolution, right? So guys, I told you this was amazing. And as I said before, whatever you can conceptualize, you can actually create it in Photoshop. If you can think it, you can create it. That should be a nice slogan. Think it, create it. All right, copyright here. I hope you guys was, you know, yeah, Alton, Alton will give you that when he comes on. Alton, you're here?
Yeah, I'm still here. All right, I'm gonna reshare my screen now. Uh, all right, so for the Black Panther photo manipulation. All right, so this one is a bit more technical than the Iron Man that we just did. So first things first now, creating the artboard for this file, new. This time I'm recommending a 1350 by 1080 artboard. So we can just type that in, like, wait, hold on, I got it mixed up. 1080 by 1350, sorry. So the width is 1080, the height is 1350, and then the resolution 300, and then click create. Yeah, which we get the artboard like this. All right. So for the images that we have, Black Panther photo manipulation. So I'm just gonna drag in all 3 images all at once. Or we can do that though. If you're wondering, you can just highlight all the selected images that you want and just click and drag. And then once they're on the screen, you can use the commit transform button, or you can just press enter to place it on the canvas. So I'm just gonna press enter again, press enter again, so that all of them are important all at once. So what I did for this photo manipulation was actually to use this photo right here as the base layer for Black Panther, this photo, and then I integrated the arms from this image. So I actually cut out the arms and place it on his chest, because like I wanted to give it a bit more of a sentimental feeling, given his death and all. Yeah, so I actually cut out his arms and placed it on this image, and then I used the image of the forest. This is where, like, if you guys watch Black Panther, you know that this is the place that they go when they die. I use this as the background image. So it's a lot of cuts, a lot of reshaping that went into this one. But just to give an idea of what I did, I'm just gonna do a quick crash course on this one. So what I did, how I cut out this one, I used the pen tool. It's the most accurate, one of the most accurate tools in Photoshop for cutting or drawing images. So I used with the pen tool selected, I used it and like traced over his body all the way around. If you're using a mouse, it's way easier than if you're just using a touchpad though. So, you know, for all you who are interested in like taking on graphic design full force, it's recommended that you can have a mouse to work with, or even like a drawing tablet or something of that sort. So, and as you guys can see, you know, sometimes it takes a while to get a few things done in Photoshop, but you know, with recent updates and stuff, Adobe actually has made it easier, a lot easier for certain things to be done. But even with that, it still takes a bit of time to get everything done. All right. I know I moved pretty fast there, but I'm just giving a quick rundown of what I did, just so that I can like um, catch you up to speed to our level, so that after the class has ended, you guys can, you know, somewhat recreate what I did. All right, so first I cut out the image of Black Panther itself, and then I use the same technique with the pen tool and cut out the arms of Black Panther. Sorry. With this cutting technique, a lot of the masking tool comes into play along with the pen tool. I can recommend a site for you guys to go and watch if you guys want to get more in depth in Photoshop. There's this guy called Aaron Mace on YouTube that has this channel called Learn. He has this like 30-day course that you guys, if you guys are interested, um, in taking, so that you can get like a better feel of the tools that they use in Photoshop and whatnot. Because for some ideas, as Bobby said, you know, you can literally put anything you want to life, but for some cases, in some cases, you'd have to know the basic tools to use and all that. So one of the tools I recommend you guys know is the pen tool. It's a really handy tool to use in Photoshop. So I'm not doing anything too complicated right now, as I said, because of the whole time differential. But what I did, like I literally zoomed in and piece by piece all of his fingers, like to the exact point for everything. So I'm just seeing if I can just replicate that as fast as possible.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
How you select the cutout?
Oh, okay. All right. So after you traced over the image with the pen tool, you can select it by pressing Control and Enter on your keyboard. You press them simultaneously, and that will cause the marching ants thing to come up that indicates the selection. All right, so for me now, after I've selected, well, after I've traced over all of this with the pen tool, on my keyboard, I can press, hold on.
Wait, Elton. Sorry about this. Someone was asking if you could type the link to the YouTube channel that you were recommending to the chat.
Okay, yeah, let me just, hold on. I think it's happening where the chat isn't appearing on my screen, so I'm not able to see the comments. Okay, all right, I just got it sorted out. All right, so if you guys can check it out, Flaring by Aaron Naves, he has this, well, you can just type in 30 days of Photoshop on the YouTube search bar, and I think his course is one of the most popular courses that comes up. So for any beginner or person who has just started out, you can look at that course, and it will help you get a basic understanding of the software itself. So 30 days of Photoshop. All right, so back to this, how I selected after I cut out the section of the hands, how I selected it. I press Control, Enter. Um, Control, Enter. With the pen tool selected, I press Control and Enter. And then how I got everything else to be masked out, after pressing Control and Enter, I clicked on the masking tool. So that now it allows all that you've selected a while ago just to be present, and it virtually deletes everything else. I mean, it's there because you use a masking tool. So if I use the brush tool and change it to white instead of black and paint, I can actually get back the image. And if I use the black and paint, I can erase the image. So that's the beauty of working with the mask tool. So earlier when I said it was indestructible, that's what I meant. You can actually bring back stuff that you've already erased from the image when using the masking tool. All right, so so what I did was here, and then I applied the background. I just enlarged it. Use the transform tool to enlarge the background. So it could be like behind him. It could appear behind him. All right. Now how I got the white part here to actually become like part of his body. A cool thing that I did, I actually copied the layer itself. You can press Ctrl J while on the layer. That's the shortcut for copying a layer. Ctrl J and copies it. So once I had that, I actually moved down the image, and painted out like the head on the layer mask, because when you're using the layer mask to paint out the images or to bring back the already painted out sections, make sure that the layer mask section is selected, is selected, because you have the image and you have the layer mask. Then select layer mask and then you paint. Use the brush tool and just paint. I'm gonna enlarge this just a bit so that it fills up most of the white section. All right, and then how I got rid of the his necklace right here. So you have this other tool called the lasso tool in Photoshop that allows you to make freehand selections. So just like with the pen tool where we made more accurate selections, this is like using a pencil or pen to draw, literally draw on the canvas. So I just click and move over the parts that I want to select. All the way back to the beginning to select it. And once I release it, the selection occurs. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys a really cool feature in Photoshop. So I can actually allow this part that I've just selected to disappear. First, the first step to doing that is rasterizing your image. So you'll right click on your image first, then click on rasterize layer. And then after that, after it's been rasterized, you go within the selected region, you right click again, you click on fill, and you'd get this list of options in the drop down bar right here. Just leave it on content aware and press OK. And what it actually does is that Photoshop it analyzes all the sections around it and fills the selected region with the section that it just analyzed a while ago. So I got rid of the necklace by using its surroundings, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is how I eventually, got to creating this image. And then I applied the hands right here. I mean, this isn't done properly though, because I'm basically rushing all of this, just to beat the time. But I wanted to give you guys a feel of the whole process behind this. So what I did after applying the hands right here, in the folder, there's this purple glow image that I had. So I used that now and applied, after I brought it in Photoshop, I applied the overlay there. You guys might remember that from, no, it was a screen. Yeah, it was a screen layer. You guys might remember that from the Iron Man one that we just did. And just, placed it right over his arms right here. I brought in two of them, one to place below his arms and one above, because as you can see from the image, it's protruding from the palm of his his hand outwards, and you can also see it on the back section of his hand too. So one of the sections is for the upper back part of his hand, and then the other is for everything that's below. I reduced the opacity of the purple glow so that it's not too much. I can just take it down to like 20%. It should be good. And then I use the same masking technique to get rid of the sharp edges around here. I don't have to do it to both of them though, because you don't want to just do it to one, because it's the same. I don't know if you guys can see it because of the opacity, but yeah, the line is still there. We'd want to get rid of that, just like what we just did with the upper one. All right. So after those are finished, you guys can drag in the vignette layer from the folder and just apply it to the image. And ensure that this one is placed above everything, because it's basically like a shade on the outskirts of the artboard, a darker shade on the outskirts of the artboard. So I drag it all the way up and down, just so that it covers all the edges. All right, so we have it more and more looking like the actual image that I created. The next thing that I did, I also sent some fonts, the fonts that I used for that artwork. So there's this Black Panther font and a Marvel font within the folders. You guys can download and then install it on your computers, but that's how I got the Rest in Power Black Panther text up here. So let me just add that real quick. Oops. A next thing to note, for some fonts, like all the letters might not be there. It sounds weird, but for the Black Panther font, like literally only the letters that spell out the name Black Panther are there. So that's why I use the Marvel font for the other text. Well, let me just redo this. So you can just go in the font section, and select, after you've installed the Marvel font, select that. Let's see. Here it is. Hold on, give me a sec. I'm not sure why it's not. Okay. All right. I'm not too sure what's happening here. It must be probably an error in my fonts that just occurred. But you guys are getting the gist of it still. Um, I'm just gonna use a substitute font for now. Just so that you guys can see what's happening. So yeah. All right. So at this stage, this is like the basic outline that I envisioned for the Black Panther photo manipulation. Um, isn't It's nothing as neat as the one that I actually created though, because I spent a lot more time doing this. But you guys can, try and see if you can somewhat replicate or even make your own creations of um, these ideas, you know. So yeah, I think we've reached the 3 o'clock um, past mark. So I hope you guys had a lot of fun doing this, doing the creations. I really had a lot of fun sharing the knowledge, and especially in the Iron Man one, because you guys were really interactive, and I loved how you guys were in the process and all that. So big up to Bobby, big up to Commuters PCC, and everybody who joined in today for the Photoshop training session on photo manipulation. And just know that, as Bobby said, you guys can literally create anything that comes to mind within Photoshop, because it's a really powerful software. So for those of you who draw or venture into graphic design, it's a really good tool to not only start, but you can evolve as time goes along with artworks of this nature. All right, so yeah. All right, so I'm handing over to Bobby to let him give his closing remarks. But thanks again to everyone who turned out. Um, as Bobby said, it will be available on the YouTube platform, but he'll give more information on that when he comes.
Okay, so thanks Alton, thanks Alton, thanks Alton. That was amazing. I mean, guys, if I wasn't into photo manipulation, no, I am. Like, really and truly, no, I am. See why this guy is amazing. This guy is really amazing. So I'm glad that you all could be beneficiary of this. I'm so glad. I'm really thankful, Alison, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. You're a lot busy. It takes a harmonic to reach you, like really, to get you here. So the dedication is there, and I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Right. So thank you so much for turning into the fourth session of Adobe Photoshop training session, which is put on by the Commuters Publication Committee. We hope you learn a great deal, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow. Special thanks to our presenter, Elton Daley, and to our team working behind the scenes to ensure we had a smooth delivery. Don't forget to follow our social media pages that was posted in the group and that was mentioned at um the early part of the session, right? And Elton, you finished with your closing remarks, or you want to say something else?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's all you know.
All right. So yes, guys, remember that there's a certificate at the end of the whole session. So you will we will send it to your email. I think about on the weekend, but Sunday the latest, right? Because we still have to go through the participants, to see who actually, tune in both on YouTube and Zoom. So you can look forward for that. Um, so I would just want to say, just let me say that the presenter for tomorrow will be none other than the CEO of Ink Photo Photography, Noah Bell, and as I said before, he will be showing you how to retouch your photo in photography, right? So you will know how to edit your photo, you have to color balance it, how to adjust the background and whatnot. So should be something not to miss. Also, I just want to thank everyone who take the time out to actually come. The Zoom link will be sent to your individual emails along with the certificate. Not the Zoom link, the YouTube link having all the playlists for all the sessions. So you will receive the certificate. You will receive each presenter folder, and you will also receive the YouTube link, right? So remember to follow everyone. You can personally follow Elton. He has his creative page on Instagram. I think that's Elton that Daily Hearts. If not, you can correct me here. He has a lot of interesting work there, so you can follow him personally there. You can give him a shout out, and you
Yeah,
can,
I'm just gonna type it in the chat if anyone wants to follow. And
Okay, so you will be typing it in the chat. So guys, thank you for coming out again. Remember to follow everyone and also follow UE Commuters underscore PCT. We're making it happen. We're connecting all 5 campuses through Photoshop. Thank you, Osasi. He was the one that came up with that concept. So I just want to thank all the presenters that presented and for the presenter that will come tomorrow. So remember, guys, we started strong, so let's finish stronger. We're looking forward to see you tomorrow. Thank you again. Thank everyone for coming out. Thank the community and students office for making this possible. Also the viewing and the streaming. And thank you everyone that supported. All my committee members, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you again. Cannot stress that. Thank you. And we look forward to see you tomorrow. Do have a blessed day. Ensure that you study and prepare for your exam. Read in advance, and come out strong. Yeah, thank you again.